And she said there was one thing that was constant about me, my hairstyle. So, for Tanya's sake, I washed it this morning. 60 years ago today, almost by the hour, I arrived at the Barratt maternity home in Northampton with my wife, who was in labour. A famous show jumper arrived at the same time with his wife. Having booked my wife in, we were shown into a bedroom when the nurse looked at me and told me to clear off. You're in the way. Well, the next morning, a phone call to the home revealed that Tanya had arrived early that morning and that mother and daughter were doing well. And that evening, I visited to be told by the show jumper who was coming down the stairs as I was going up the stairs, and when I said to him, "Is everything all right with you?" he just said, "A fine filly," and went out. Now the name Tanya was chosen by her mum. I wanted Maria, but I lost out. And I'm always glad that my wife won the day, because those of you that know Tanya will know she's certainly not a Maria. 1963 was the coldest March for 16 years. And when the temperature never got higher than -10 degrees for 4 whole weeks, you can imagine the difficulty we had in washing the nappies, because the water pipe came across an open ditch, and I was down in the ditch lighting fires to keep the water flowing. During that year, Cliff Richards recorded Summer Holiday. The Beatles had their first album coming out, and the song in it, "She Loves You, Yeah, Yeah." And it was the first episode of Doctor Who, and the great train robbery took place in Buckinghamshire. And Ford Motor Company produced the first Anglia car. I mention the Anglia car because as Tanya and Debbie got a bit older, they got used to pushing my Anglia car, which wouldn't start in the morning. Now, as a young child, Tanya was sullen and uncommunicatively. You only have to look at the photo where she is in velvet at Auntie Sue's wedding to see how sullen she could be. She preferred her own company, and when her mum organised a birthday party, Tanya was missing. She'd gone up to her bedroom. But she did get into trouble at one of her birthdays when she announced which birthday it was by writing her age on every floor tile in the hall. Now, as young children, Mum would push Tanya and Debbie to catch a bus a mile out of the village of Sherrington. She would throw the pushchair in the ditch and leave it there until the bus came back, where she got out of the ditch, put the children in and returned home. And that happened for several months before one of the village children decided enough was enough, and it became a bit of a game in the village. When she started at school in Sherrington, her head teacher said she was the first child of a child he had taught years earlier. And that head teacher had taught me when I was 10 and 11 years of age. She hated taking part in school Christmas plays and had to wear a cap when playing football for the school team to prevent the opposition from seeing that she was a girl. It failed anyway. Now, as she grew up, she had a dog of her own, Ranger, and she loved Ranger and taking him across the village fields just opposite our house. And she got a part-time job in Charlesbury Kennels and went to work there full-time when she left school at 15 years of age. Her mum never knew when she would bring a dog home to save it from the vet's needle. And on one occasion brought 6 Alsatian pups, which had to be reared by hand, by herself and by her mum. Neither my wife or I could believe it when Debbie told us that Tanya had a boyfriend. I believe, I'm not sure, but I believe they met at one of the many dog shows that I had to take Tanya to, where she was showing her Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. It was around about that time that she decided to raise money for a charity, and I can't remember what the charity was. Can you? RSPC. Well, Tanya walked 40 miles from Oxford to Sherrington to raise money. And the last mile she was in complete agony with her feet red raw and sore. When I walked Tanya up the aisle in Sherrington Church for her wedding, it filled me with pride. She looked just so beautiful, where for many years she had tried not to look beautiful. 3 events marked, for me, the highlight of the marriage. The arrivals of Chris, Leanne and Tom. Chris, the person who never forgets my birthday. The only thing is that when I get the Christmas present, I never know whether it's for the last one or the next one. But I have to say, Chris has saved me on many occasions with my computer, and I thank him enormously. We move to Leanne. Leanne, who tested her mum throughout the dreadful teens, testing her almost to breaking point. But I have to say, Leanne today is a wonderful person, caring and always in touch with me to make sure I'm okay and willing to come and help and do whatever is necessary. Tom, weighed down with so many first names, it's a wonder he can actually walk. But for all of us, we remember a fire a few years ago. And for all of us, Tom is a hero. Before Tanya's mum died, after a 2-year illness, Tanya agreed to a request from her to always make sure that I had Eccles cakes. And you may smile at that, but she has kept that promise for 36 years. And I think that deserves an applause. I can't promise you'll be doing it for another 36 years. The marriage to Carl eventually ended. For me, it's been a real pleasure seeing her happy again with Steve. And I thank him for bringing joy back into Tanya's life. Tanya now has 11 grandchildren, and not only have they brought her happiness, she showers love and happiness to them all. It's all right, it's the last but 7 payments. As her grandchildren grow up, I bet they will never forget their granny, who still rides a bike at 60. What they may not know is that she once owned and drove in the streets of Buckinghamshire a London black taxi cab. And so after 60 years, I can say without hesitation that no other father has had 2 daughters bringing him so much pride and happiness. Their mum would have been equally so. Here is a toast. My wish and our wish, Tanya, is for a continuing happy life with Steve, with your children, and with a growing family. To Tanya.
Happy birthday. Thank you, thank you. I haven't prepared a speech, I haven't, but I just want to say thank you so much to you all. When you all know I wouldn't want a party in the party sense of things. The only people I wanted was just family and really, really close friends, and I've had that. So thank you so, so much. We are, I wish I'd written something down now, but there are times when having such a big family can be quite daunting. Like, it's a complication because we can't fit in one house. You can't, and that's why times like this, our Boxing Day, whatever, it's just so special, and I love it, because I love it when all the kids get together and get on so well as well, because I love every single one of them, and there might be more to come. We don't know that yet, but 11 for now is brilliant, and I love it, and I'm so proud of them all. Thank you. I think I also, apart from the other end of the scale, I am so lucky still to have Dad. So lucky. Thanks, Dad.